All right, you guys, let's do this thing. Pumped to be on with you guys tonight. Coaching call. Ben just like on some stuff on this subject that's just been internally working in me. And I'm excited to share it with you. I always want to like live out things before I just start teaching or coaching or whatever on this stuff. And in the past, if you've been on coaching calls with me, I love to be super practical. I love giving practical things, tangible things. And tonight is probably the least practical or tangible thing you're going to receive from me. Some of this stuff is like when you start going through it, it's not always tangible and it's not always practical, but that's how internal work sometimes really is when we're just changing and morphing and growing. And so a lot of it is we're just sharing, I'm sharing experience and things that I'm seeing change in my own life and I'm seeing change in life and people's around me. And I see it adding value into your guys' journey as well. And so a lot of that has to do with, especially in the fitness realm, right? If your goal is lose, I mean, most of the people in this room, like our goal is to get healthier. Our goal is to shed fat, get a little leaner, down that journey, down that road. A lot of you have been on that road before or in the middle of it. And a lot of times, where do we get caught up at? Has anybody been caught up on the road of like, I just keep trying harder and trying harder? And sometimes I feel like all I do is try harder and it doesn't happen. Like we've been there, like you've been on that cycle. And oftentimes what I'm finding in this is that the try harder is literally that. It's a hamster wheel of always trying harder to accomplish something and it gets discouraging. And that's where I'm really seeing a shift in perspective when it comes to anything in life, but obviously health and fitness. And I really think it's this journey of there's really no striving in being you. And as we're growing in our authenticity, I'm finding that so much of our journey has to do with our journey becomes easier when we really start seeing our true authentic self. And we don't have to try to be our true authentic self. And so let's apply this to a health and fitness standard. If you have the goal of losing 20 pounds or 30 pounds or 50 pounds or 100 pounds, this is where it gets a little weird. But if you can hear this, hear it. And I don't expect necessarily like this has been working on me for a while. So you might walk away from the call not necessarily like getting it tonight, but it can just be a seed. And we'll keep talking kind of on the lines of this stuff. But if you want to lose whatever weight goal you have, 100 pounds, see yourself as the person that's lost the 100 pounds or 20 pounds. Because here's the funny part, you're already that person. Even though you haven't lost the 100 pounds yet, you're already that person who's lost the 100 pounds. And so when we start seeing our true authentic self, your actions in the day will actually reflect who you actually are, if that makes sense. And so your healthiest self, your person who you know you really are doing certain things throughout the day that maybe yourself right now isn't doing. You're like, well, how can I be that person? Because right now my behavior, what I'm doing doesn't match that. So Jordan, how can you say that I'm that person already? Because you're just not seeing yourself as who you are yet. It's really an awareness piece that if you have to start believing and seeing who you really are and being a little audacious or maybe even a little delusional in that, because anybody who's really accomplished anything probably seems delusional to some people. And so you have to really see yourself out front and realize that you're also that right now. It's a weird word. I'm really into in words because like certain words like they may mean something, but in our heads they mean something else. And so like the word becoming, like okay, we're becoming that person. I like that because there's truth in it, but I also don't like it because becoming always has to go back to this. I'm doing more. I'm doing more to be this person. Well, if you always have to do to become to be who you already are, like that doesn't make much sense. And so we actually have to spend more time being who we actually are. and let our being reflect who we actually are. And so when you start really seeing yourself as the person who's already lost the 100 pounds, your actions every single day just start reflecting that because that's who you're actually viewing yourself to be. And so the person you actually see yourself being becomes a direct reflection of the actions that you're doing right now. And over the course of a month, over the course of 2 months, over the course of 3 months, it just starts to naturally and organically happen. And you find yourself trying less hard and accomplishing so much more. And anxiety lifts off of us, stress lifts off of us of always running this hamster wheel, trying harder. And we can just start being who we really are. And part of that really is just this shift in how we view ourselves and how we actually see ourselves. I know for me personally, and everybody's journey is different with this, but with me personally, it really had to do with for me believing how God sees me. And so it was just like a skewed view of me always trying harder to please God when really it was like there's nothing I could do more to please him because he already loves me. And so that was a really big shift for me going, into that of just like, oh, I don't have to try so hard. I can just be who he made me to be. And that really just shifted my mindset and really started changing the perspective of that around for me. And he just started showing me over the course of this last year of just like, man, this like really has to do in how I coach people. And I really felt like it could just be this point of serving within my clients as well. Just like, oh man, maybe we're trying too hard sometimes. Like and that's the thing though. It's like doing you guys is never going to be hard. Like that's why I'm a little not worried about you guys doing more because we can always do more. Like that's never a problem. Like it's pretty easy to log on the app and get the workout or and just always do more. And I'm just not stressed about you guys always doing more versus starting to seeing yourself as who you really are. And that's just going to start reflecting in your daily actions. And I just think there's going to be a weight removed off your shoulder of always having to perform to yourself. Like I need to perform well for myself to be happy. Or even like you might have attached this thing, well, I want to please Jordan and make sure I do these things so he's happy with me. And it's like really that's not there. Like obviously I'm always proud of you. Like when you're accomplishing your things, that's real. But I'm just as proud of you guys when you're just like working through things or you have a week that's filled with life and it's just like, man, like I just have a week this week or a month or whatever it is. And that's a reality. And so what we do is we just shift and we move and we say, hey, the reality is this today. And I need to be me today. And everything just starts to grow and you organically start to grow and be yourself. So a little off the wall teaching tonight, but I really think it's the foundation, starting to just build some foundational pieces for you guys of there's no striving in being who you really are. And if you feel like you're always striving, always trying harder to be you, that might be a really good just pause point for us for the next week. I don't want to get on and teach this again next week because I think over teaching on this right away too doesn't allow it to really like soak in and penetrate our hearts a little bit. And so I really want us, I'll probably just send you some private messages next week of just reflecting on some things, applying it to our health and fitness or applying it to areas of our life and let it just continue to soak and really just be thinking on that question of just like, man, like, am I striving being who I am? Or am I really just like being who I am? It's for me, the term really for me with that is since there's truth in the word becoming, and then there's like not truth in it for me, I think the term that I've like just in my head that makes sense to me, maybe it'll make sense to you, is becoming who you already are. It's super paradoxical and it's a little weird, but it's like you really are like we're still becoming, but we're becoming who we really already are. And so that allows for metamorphosis to happen, right? A caterpillar is a caterpillar, but it's a butterfly, even though you don't see the butterfly yet. And so it has to go through this metamorphosis. And you might think to yourself, like, well, man, like what I'm doing today doesn't match the actions of somebody who's lost 100 pounds or has put on the muscle. But think about this. I'll leave us with this last thought. A rose cut away from the rose bush is technically dead, but it still looks like a rose and it's still beautiful like a rose, the same way it was when it was attached to the rose 30 seconds before you cut it off the rose bush. But it takes time for some of those things to die away, and each pedal dies and falls away. It's kind of like doing something like if you have bad habits with something, or you emotionally eat, or and you have these triggers, right? But as you're becoming who you already are, each one of those pedals slowly dies away from you. And you don't have to try less hard at changing your behavior, and it can naturally start just falling off because it's been cut away from you. But it takes a little time sometimes for that to fall away from the rose stem, right? Kind of some interesting thoughts there, but I want you guys to just take some of that. So, is there any questions? Do you have any, or any maybe added thoughts is a better question as we're kind of closing up the call here tonight. Anyone, anyone? Everybody's like, no, you lost me like 10 minutes ago. I really just want to encourage you guys for us not to be, I don't want to be just another like dude who like, let's just get big biceps. Like I want us to really have to just like growth in in life in general. If you're a business owner, if you're somebody who's just working a job, whatever that is, I want us to have growth in relationships and then relationship with yourself too. That's so much of the health and fitness thing is us growing in relationship with ourself as well and really seeing ourself in a different aspect. And so I don't want to be another just muscle head coach. And I don't want like I don't think I'm attracting those type of people anyway. Like I look at the group of people that I have in here and I'm like, none of you guys are even like that anyway. So there's something else why you're here. And so like I really believe there's just like a bigger purpose for it all. And I just want to continue to encourage everybody on that. I want to schedule. I know this, I'm terrible sometimes about scheduling calls. So I'm a pre-schedule a call, and it might not even be on this stuff at all, much, but it's going to be another coaching call, so we can put it in our calendars. And let's plan on April 23rd, and I'll just put this in everybody's calendar as well, and we'll just go 7 p.m. again. And I might just open up the next call too for like Q&A. And that way everybody, because I think there's really positive stuff that comes with that too, that like, hey, I have some fitness questions, you bring it up and you didn't realize that like, oh, I had that same question, that really serves me. So I think our next coaching call will be some Q&A style open room forum work there, if that works. Oh, Renee just jumped. Sorry, I didn't see your I didn't see your message on the side there. Okay, thoughts. We have to grow in our emotions thinking to change our mindset that will also help change our bodies. That's really good, Renee. I agree. I agree. That's solid. And then, oh, okay. My kids are loud, but I love everything about this. The past year, I've been working on finding my authentic self, even with all that is going on in my life. I'm happy with myself and my confidence. You are a great coach. Oh, thank you, Jordan. I appreciate that. Well, you guys, that's what I just want us to keep growing because I know your success in the health and fitness becomes easier when your true authentic self is coming out. If you're not, don't get to be yourself. I think that's when we struggle with stuff. Like when we just don't get to be ourselves, it's harder. I know I've struggled with that. When I'm not myself or I'm in a group where I don't get to be myself, man, I just like I don't connect. So just things I'm learning along my way, and I just want to share some of that with you guys too, and I hope that it serves you and encourages you. So if there's no other questions, we'll get you off tonight. We're 15 minutes on the dot. I said 10 to 15. We're good. Katie, a tadpole is a frog, but doesn't know it's a frog yet. That's exactly right. I love it, Katie. All right, you guys. Thanks for jumping on Wednesday night. I really appreciate your time. And let's have a great rest of our week. We'll crush it. If you have any thoughts or anything, just message me, okay? We'll talk to you guys later.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jordan.
Thanks,
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome.